There was once a farmer named Ramesh who lived in a small village. Ramesh was not a rich man, but he was honest and hardworking. Every day, he worked in his fields from morning till evening, hoping for a good harvest. But there was one big problem in his life: water. During summer, the land dried up quickly. His crops struggled, and Ramesh often stood in his field, staring at the cracked soil, wondering how much longer he could continue like this. One day, while walking back home, he noticed his neighbor Kalu drawing water easily from a well near his house. Ramesh stopped and sighed. If only I had a well like that. Kalu heard him and turned around with a quick smile. "Why don't you buy my well?" he said casually. "I don't really use it much anymore." Ramesh looked surprised. "You'd sell it to me?" he asked. "Yes, of course," Kalu replied. "We'll settle the price today." Ramesh didn't think too much. He believed his neighbor and felt relieved that his water problem would finally be solved. He paid the agreed amount and went home that day full of hope. Early the next morning, Ramesh walked to the well with a bucket in his hand. He felt happy, imagining his crops growing green again. But just as he was about to draw water, Kalu appeared suddenly. "Stop!" Kalu shouted. Ramesh turned, confused. "What happened? This is my well now." Kalu folded his arms and said calmly, "Yes, I sold you the well, but not the water inside it." Ramesh felt his heart sink. "What are you saying? A well is useless without water." Kalu shrugged. "That's not my problem," he said and walked away. Ramesh stood there, shocked and helpless. He had paid honestly, trusted his neighbor, and yet he was being cheated. That night, Ramesh could not sleep. Anger and sadness kept him awake. "This is unfair," he said to himself. "I must ask for justice." The next day, Ramesh went to the emperor's court and explained everything. His voice trembled as he spoke, not because he was scared, but because he felt deeply wronged. The emperor listened carefully and then called Birbal, his wisest courtier. Birbal nodded thoughtfully. "Call the neighbor," he said. When Kalu arrived, Birbal asked him gently, "Why won't you let the farmer take water from the well?" Kalu replied confidently, "I sold him the well, not the water inside it. The water belongs to me." Birbal smiled slightly, as if he had already understood the truth. Birbal looked at Kalu and said calmly, "If the well belongs to the farmer, then you have no right to keep your water in his well." Kalu looked confused. "What do you mean?" he asked. Birbal continued, "You have two choices. Either pay rent to the farmer for keeping your water in his well, or take all the water out immediately." The court became silent. Kalu's face turned pale. He finally realized that his trick had failed. He had tried to be clever, but his own words had trapped him. "I was wrong," he said quietly. "Please forgive me." He apologized to Ramesh and allowed him to use the well freely. Ramesh returned home that day with relief in his heart. He finally had water for his fields and justice on his side. From that day on, Kalu never tried to cheat anyone again, and Ramesh learned an important lesson. Silence helps the dishonest, but courage protects the honest. Cheating may seem smart at first, but it always leads to shame and loss in the end.